Welcome to English 2020. Since we are talking about English language, why not take a look at when the language actually got originated, right? If you look at the timeline, you will notice that English language actually started being spoken as Old English back in 450 AD. And then the language went through some transformations, and right around 1600 AD, it became known as early modern English. And of course, what we speak today is called the modern English language. So that is a bit of a historical perspective on English language. If I were to ask you how many people speak English language today, any guesses? It's a very high number. Some 840 million people actually speak English around the world, and it is second only to the Chinese Mandarin language, which is spoken by roughly 1.2 billion people. And so we know that English is a very widely spoken language. We also know that most businesses these days use English as the preferred language for their communication. And because most businesses use English as their communication language, it means more opportunities. Rather obvious, right? So now that we know a little bit about English language's origin, you might wonder, language has been around for 1500 years. There are lots and lots of books written on English grammar. Why do I need another course on English grammar, right? So it's a good question. In fact, I just did a Google search on the words English grammar, and guess what I found? Some 39 million hits. Obviously, that tells us that there are indeed lot of resources on English grammar. So, natural question then becomes, who is this course for? What is so different about this course, and will it actually help me, right? So let's answer all of those questions one by one. So first question is, who is this course for? Well, this course is specifically designed for people who are learning English as a second or third language. It is also known as ESL, right? To understand that a little bit better, if you look at this world map, the countries identified in red are the countries where English is the primary language. And what does that mean? It means most of the other countries, believe it or not, most of the other countries in the gray color identified here on the map, they have some other language as a primary language for the most part. And so people in those countries learn English as a second, third, or sometimes even fourth language. And this course is specifically designed for that audience where people learn English as a second or third language. And the primary reason for that is, when we are learning English as a second or third language, for those of you who might have experienced this, we learn it slightly differently. And this course specifically addresses the concerns of that audience. And that's why the main target audience for this course is people who are learning English as a second or third language. Right? Makes sense? So now the second question is, what is different about this course? Let's take a look at this picture. This is basically a baby step. And one of the things that this course will do is it will cover the concepts in small steps, because then it becomes very easy to understand, very easy to master. The second thing is, English is a very abstract concept, right? Any language for that matter is a very abstract concept. Tenses, active, passive. And so to teach the abstract concepts, it actually helps to have pictures tell the story. And so this course uses a lot of pictures and a lot of animation to teach the concepts. So that's the second thing that is really different about this. The third is that this course teaches the concepts as a process. And when we do that, the advantage is that we learn the concept for one tense as an example, and then the same process is now applicable for all 12 tenses. So it speeds up the learning process. And that is really what is different about this course. So first we learn the concept, and then we practice the concept with lots and lots of examples. And once we have done our practicing, then you can take a quiz to validate, to understand how well we have learned. And let's say you practice it and then you take a quiz and then you still don't feel comfortable. Well, let's just go back, learn that concept again, practice it, and test until we master. So that is essentially what is different about this course. Now, let me explain what I mean by the baby steps, right? So let's say in a particular example, in a particular chapter in this course, there is a sentence and then we want to change that sentence to a different form. Because sentence structure is pretty fundamental to any language, but English language in our case. How does this course work? Well, it starts to break down the overall process into individual steps. So the first step might be to do something with the object of the sentence. Second step might be to do something else. Third one might be to do something to change the form of the verb or something. And fourth one might be to change the subject of the original sentence. As you can tell, each of these steps are clearly numbered and they are color coded. And let's say you are still not clear, you just go back 1, 2, 3, 4 and play it again and say, what was my step number 1? This. What was my step number 2? Perhaps something else. Step number 3 may be something to do with the verb, and step number 4 might be something else. So that way we have very clearly articulated numbered steps and color coding with some animation, and hopefully that will help the students remember each and every concept that is taught in this course, right? Alright, so in summary then, this is a simple step-by-step process that's really easy to learn and easy to master. In summary, what is this course about? Frankly, this course is about only one thing, and that is to remove the fear from the minds of the students. Now, some of you might be able to relate to this when I say that a lot of students, I have seen a lot of students have a fear about English grammar. They think that English language is very difficult to learn, it's very difficult to master. But I would like to suggest to you that if English language is taught in a step-by-step easy manner, it is actually one of the easiest languages to learn because it has a very specific structure and very easy letters to read and write, right? So if this course then is able to teach the students how to speak and how to write grammatically correct English, then this course actually has achieved its goal. Now you might wonder, okay, that's all great, but then how do I know if this course is going to help me? The answer to that question is very easy. There is a literally 3-minute, very short assessment test. It's a multiple choice set of questions. You can take that in about 3 to 4 minutes max, and then based on the score that you get, you can decide for yourself if this course is for you. For example, if you score more than 90% on that test, it basically tells us that you probably have a very solid foundation of sentence structure and grammar, and you may not benefit significantly from this course. On the other hand, if you score a little bit less than 90%, then this course actually might be beneficial. the benefits to you from this course might be significant, and in which case you might want to consider taking this course. Make sense? Excellent. So, with that, I just want to thank you for watching and happy learning to you.